Hello everyone, this is Mickey. Today I'd like to talk about how Singapore has changed me after living here for about 4 years. When I first moved to Singapore, some of the things were culture shock to me and quite challenging to adapt to the society here, as I had never lived in other foreign countries before. However, now I believe that I have fully integrated into this local culture and I am now living in this country without any big difficulties. So in this video, I'd like to share some of the things about how I adapted myself to Singapore society and how Singapore, this country, has changed me over the past 4 years. Let's get started. Number 1, language. As I always emphasize the importance of learning the local language when moving to a new country, learning Mandarin and other languages or dialects such as Malay, Cantonese, Hokkien helped me settle into the local culture here in Singapore very quickly. I think just having the ability to use English is actually enough to survive in Singapore. But learning different types of languages through immersing yourself in this dynamic multicultural environment, you will be understand the culture and enjoy the local life more than other foreigners living in Singapore. And also I believe that there are not that many countries where different races coexist together in a small country and respect each other's culture and language, especially here in Asia. That's why for me it's a great opportunity living in Singapore, hearing many different types of languages here and there every day, which is also giving me a motivation to continue learning the language. I think it's a waste of learning opportunity if a foreigner just uses English in everyday life in Singapore without learning other new languages such as Mandarin, Malay, and Tamil, etc. It's never too late to learn a language. So if you have any interest, just take some time to slowly start learning some local languages so that you can have more meaningful life and enjoy living here in Singapore. Number 2, open-minded thinking. As I mentioned just now, Singaporeans respect each other and celebrate each of their cultural events such as Chinese New Year, Hari Raya, and Deepavali throughout the year. I feel that most of the people here have cross-cultural tolerance. For example, even in companies in Singapore, they prepare each event and celebrate it together with all the employees, regardless of their races. During the Deepavali, I visited an Indian Hindu temple and the Indians there gave me some snacks, just like how they share the food with other Indians. At that time, I felt a very warm welcome and they even accepted a foreigner like me. In Japan, this kind of thing doesn't usually happen like that normally and even may take some distance if they realize you are a foreigner. This open-minded thinking has changed my view of other ethnicities and cultures, and I was able to learn how to understand their way of thinking. I think this open-minded thinking applies to many companies in Singapore. For example, in Japan, it's not so easy to discuss with the team leader or boss, and maybe necessary to say yes as many tasks as possible, no matter what they ask you to do. However, in Singapore, people are more generous and the distance between employee and boss is not that far like Japan. That's why I can share my opinion more easily and casually, and they will try to listen and understand my situation during the discussion. Like I feel more respected as one of the employees. So over the past 4 years, I have been able to learn how to accept other people's ideas and thoughts, as well as to control my own emotional feelings by taking some time to understand their background and way of thinking. Without experience of working in such an environment, I wouldn't have been able to grow into the person I am today. I also believe that there are two concepts of time in Singapore, which are fast time and slow time. For the fast time, people work really hard and effectively to have more time with their friends, family, and loved ones. Sometimes they even go to school to learn new things and gain new skills. So I feel that time passes very quickly on weekdays. On the other hand, they have slow and relaxing time on weekends, such as going to local hawker center for coffee or traveling to other nearby countries to recharge themselves. In Singapore, the balance of fast and slow time makes people more motivated and relaxed, which also affects the efficiency of work and private time, and people can have more time to care for others. Number 3, health-oriented. As I mentioned earlier, the environment in Singapore is way more relaxed than that of Japan, and people can have more time to spend on themselves. So I can see many people working out at the gym or going for jogging outside after work. The natural environment in Singapore is very beautiful with lush greenery and pleasant weather around 6 p.m., allowing people to exercise in a more comfortable environment. These good healthy habits that I often see around me have also changed my lifestyle. When I was in Japan, I didn't really care much about what I ate each day and seldom went out for exercise. However, after living in Singapore, I got more opportunities to do exercise and started to care more about my body and health. The Chinese culture here has also helped me to become more health conscious. For example, after coming to Singapore, I started drinking Chinese tea, as some locals have the habit of drinking Chinese tea with their meals. Starting with learning Mandarin to better communicate with locals, I have developed a greater interest in Chinese culture, which has also changed my lifestyle and now helped me to stay healthy. During my 4 years stay in Singapore, I have slowly adapted myself to the local society by learning the language and being more open-minded. I have been able to gain a deeper understanding of the culture and better understand the custom of people here.